AITA for getting my neighbors fined by our HOA. After they called my one problem a me problem. They're my direct next-door neighbors. Many elderly, older couples live here. But there's been a rise in younger families with children. My family being one to purchase about a year ago. Myself and my husband and our 2 young children. Our neighborhood has an HOA. Generally, they leave you alone if you don't cause any problems. Keep your lawn clean. Avoid parking on the street for extending periods of time. Don't paint your house a disapproved color. Have any work on your house approved beforehand. And you're golden. I've heard some horror stories about HOAs, but ours is relatively lenient. We have a good relationship with our neighbors. Up until now. Our neighbor's house was robbed when they were on vacation about a month ago. So they've installed security cameras, a security system, security lights, etc. The problem is that one of their security lights shines into my son's bedroom at night. It's on constantly, but turns extra bright if it senses movement. Thing is, this light is the most sensitive light ever made. I swear just a little bug or some wind will set it off. It's bright as F. And wakes up my son. 4.5. Even with his shutters shut. Because it is so bright. So after a week of this I went to my neighbors and spoke to them. The husband said to me, word for word, "I'm sorry but that sounds like a you problem." I kept my composure and asked him if he had properly filed with HOA before installing these new additions. He said it wasn't an addition. Just some lights. So he didn't need their approval. I asked him to please just adjust the light so it pointed away from my son's window. And he said no and asked me to leave. Mad as hell. I talked to my husband about it when he got home. He couldn't believe our up to now very nice neighbors would be that inconsiderate. So, we contacted HOA. The very next day, I recognized the head of the HOA's car outside their house. I eavesdropped from our balcony and she's ripping them a new one. Apparently they had new windows and front door installed and didn't have it approved through HOA beforehand. They also built an addition into their backyard and that wasn't approved either. So they'll be receiving several heavy fines from the HOA. In addition to being required to adjust their security lights as to prevent them from disturbing neighbors. His wife came over yesterday and laid into me about the fines we imposed on them, and said we could have handled this without getting HOA involved. I told her I tried to handle the security light issue with her husband but he told me it was a me problem. She insisted she knew nothing about that. I could hear them very loudly fighting shortly after. Apparently I ruined an important anniversary between them. I'm sorry. But that sounds like a you problem? Our other neighbors heard about it and today it's 50-50 me versus neighbor being the asshole. So, AITA? NTA. You tried talking to him and being reasonable. And turned your problem into a bigger problem for him when he basically told you off. Sucks to be him. NTA. You had no way of knowing all the other shit they did without HOA approval. Their actions were negatively affecting your child. And they decided to be dicks about it when you tried to bring it up. You didn't ruin their anniversary, their marriage did. Okay, this is a pet hate of mine. When the consequences of people's own actions come home to roost and they try to blame it on everyone else rather than taking responsibility for doing it in the first place. You didn't make modifications without HOA approval, they did. You didn't then ignore the politely raised concerns of your neighbor as to the impact of those modifications. He did. Any and all consequences of those actions are on them. NTA. NTA. You tried to solve the problem directly with the neighbors. The fact that they had done improvements to the house without HOA permission sounds like their problem. NTA, sounds like a them problem. I'm sorry. Should that seem necessary? But I got a good chuckle out of this. So, meet reap. Sleep is important and so is basic respect. Turns out the alternative can be rather expensive. If they want to be dicks getting away with all manner of unapproved things, they should probably be nice to their next door neighbors. NTA. NTA, I had a light shining into the neighbors and once they made me aware, I adjusted it. That guy is probably paranoid since the burglary, but it's not excuse to be rude and do the neighborly thing and adjust the light. NTA, according to your neighbor, lights were your problem and you solved it the best you could. Totally justified action emo. NTA. NTA. You didn't ruin an important anniversary. Husband did when instead of being reasonable he decided to make an ass of himself. If he just adjusted the security light when you asked, then the HOA doesn't get involved. They don't get fined. And everyone wins. Everything that happened is on him. You made an attempt to reach out and resolve the issue. Husband was unwilling to address the problem. Wife found out husband decided to play a stupid game. And won a stupid and costly prize. Everything that happened is on him. It is too bad you didn't speak to both members of the couple. But you couldn't know they wouldn't communicate. So she wouldn't be able to talk more sense into him. You did try. NTA. NTA. These people sound incredibly entitled. Imagine living in a country where they get to dictate what you can and can't do to your home. You are definitely NTA, but screw HOA. Generally, they leave you alone, followed by a long list of strict rules. NTA. I'd say only the asshole if you didn't use the "sounds like a you problem" line in the actual conversation. Too good to pass up. NTA, but were you really wondering about this one? What else were you supposed to do? NTA. Positively epic. Thanks for a story that reminds people of the benefits of an HOA. Since most stories are the nightmare variety. You didn't ruin any anniversary. The husband did. But being an AW when he could have behaved like a reasonable fucking adult. I am almost always going to call you out for tattling to the HOA. Almost always. NTA. Sounds like this could have gone a different way if you had happened to talk to the wife instead of the husband. But that's their problem. NTA. Often in life there is no perfect solution to make everyone happy. You did what you could. Sorry. But their inability to find a peaceful solution to a problem they could have handled themselves doesn't constitute a problem when you tried handling it like an adult. NTA.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.